Meren of Clan Toth versus Muldrotha the Gravetide. We'll keep this because we have plenty of mana to play around with. We'll go for the Birds of Paradise off the forest. That can take us into an Awakening Zone, which will take us into either Oracle of Muldrotha or Meren of Clan Toth. Okay, there's a Kitesail freebooter. I don't think I want to look at my opponent's library just yet. Might do that next turn. Just grab ourselves a Bayou here. And we'll grab the Awakening Zone and pass back over to Muldrotha the Gravetide. Sultai, 6 mana for a 6/6. During each of your turns, you may play up to 1 permanent of each permanent type from your graveyard. And Meren of Clan Toth is similar. Sometimes goes in the 99 of Muldrotha. We'll play our turn and then we'll go over her. Yeah, I think we're okay just getting down Meren of Clan Toth. It would be good for it to start seeing these Eldrazi spawns being sacrificed. Meren of Clan Toth, whenever another creature we control dies, we get an experience counter. And at the beginning of our end step, choose a target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's CMC is less than or equal to the number of XP counters you have, return it to the battlefield, otherwise it comes back into your hand. So we get card advantage no matter what from Meren. And some ramp for our opponent. Looks like they're trying to get into Muldrotha as soon as they possibly can. A land here would be nice because it would be nice to Maelstrom Pulse and Kitesail freebooter, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. So how about instead we just go for the Maelstrom Pulse onto the Signet. Let me just check the lands here. That one is, mana of any colour. Yeah, I think we definitely have to get rid of the Signet here. We'll try and keep that off the field as long as possible. And then Carrion Feeder comes down. And we will sacrifice the Birds of Paradise. That not only gets a +1/+1 counter on the Carrion Feeder, but it gives us a death trigger for Meren to see, and then the Birds of Paradise come straight back anyway. Might as well have gotten the free death trigger there, seeing as how we weren't going to go down any mana. Tap land for our opponent. Mosswalk Bridge is really good if our opponent can get some big creatures into play. Okay, Cultivate ensures that Muldrotha is likely coming down next turn. Okay, crop rotation. Do we want to crop rotation? No, I think we need to Oracle of Muldrotha here. And hope that we get into a cluster of lands on the top. I don't have the best luck with Oracle of Muldrotha, and yeah, the bad luck continues. But I decided to go for Oracle of Muldrotha because we can Eldritch Evolution into a duplicate. And that will hopefully keep our opponent off Muldrotha. 5 damage dealt to our opponent there, and we will sacrifice the Oracle, and then Oracle will come straight back thanks to Meren, and we are one step closer to being able to reanimate a Grave Titan every single turn. Prophet of Kruphix is definitely something that I would love to duplicate. We just need to hope that our opponent doesn't have counter magic. Okay, Grisly Salvage. Prophet of Kruphix is untap all creatures and lands during each player's untap step, and you can cast creatures as though they had flash. Really, really good card that was actually banned for a long time. And Prophet of Kruphix is definitely ban-worthy. It doesn't seem as though Wizards wants to go in that direction with 1 versus 1. They want to keep as many things unbanned as possible by the looks of it. Land on the top would be nice. Okay, is this just a Rift? No, they go for Sylvan Primordial. If they go after one of our lands, we can crop rotation in response. They do, so let's do exactly that. This way we don't go down a land. We'll just go for the Woodland Cemetery. And we get Avenger of Zendikar. We still don't get a land off the top, unfortunately. But what we can do is sack this, go for Eldritch Evolution onto the Oracle of Muldrotha, grab ourselves a duplicate. We can exile the Prophet of Krufix, and then we can... Oh, and our opponent scoops to that. That is... Yeah, I don't know about that. They've got plenty of things going on in the graveyard. We do have somewhat of a loop here, but it's not like our opponent can't interact with it. Yeah, I don't think much of our opponent's scooping to that. What we were going to do there is Carrion Feeder, sacrifice the duplicate, and then Meren was going to bring back the duplicate to get rid of the Sylvan Primordial next turn. At the end of this turn even. So they didn't even get the chance to untap. Yeah. Didn't even cast Muldrotha and try and play through that. We could have probably kept Muldrotha off the field thanks to duplicate, but no, they perhaps should have played that one out. Anyway, that was Meren of Clan Nel Toth versus Muldrotha the Gravetide. Hope you all enjoyed that one. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching. Meren of Clan Nel Toth versus Aminatou, the Fateshifter. Yeah, if we had another land, I would be tempted to keep that. Because we can go Carrion Feeder into Skull Clamp. If we get into another land, that's not terrible. No, I think we have to mulligan that. Tempting as it is. Wow, and we are not getting into lands, are we? We'll have to mulligan again. And there we go, that's better, especially with Life from the Loam. We can actually get some good stuff going there. And we have Demonic Tutor on top, so I'm not going to complain at all about that. We'll just throw down the Bayou. We'll just throw down the Misty Rainforest. We'll get ourselves into probably just a basic, because I don't want to shock in the Shockland, and then we'll use Life from the Loam to grab ourselves a Misty Rainforest back. Yeah, an Esper Commander, +1, draw a card, then put a card from your hand on top of your library, and then you get to flicker a card for -1, and then the limit break is basically swap all the non-land permanents that you have with your opponent. Yeah, I don't think Maelstrom Pulse is terrible here. We milled into, off of the Life from the Loam, we dredged into Sidisi, Phyrexian Tower, and Woodfall Primus, so they're not awful things to get off the top of the library. Go for a forest again. And then we'll Maelstrom Pulse the Search for Azcanta. Our opponent's going to get way too much value out of that. And looks like, yeah, we're going to see our opponent's commander. Alright, Nissa Vastwood Seer. Do we want to get... Let's expand the graveyard. Yeah, I don't think I mind Meren here, because it will be a good creature to swing in at Aminatou. And we'll grab back Sidisi Undead Vizier, we never know. Might be drawing into a land next turn, and then we'll be able to use this as a 5-mana tutor. Alright, and getting down a precognition field. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you can cast it if it's an instant or sorcery, and then pay 3 to exile the top card of your library. Let's just swing in at our opponent with Meren. In fact, we'll swing in at Aminatou, not our opponent. And then we can go for Nissa Vastwood Seer. Say yes to that. We'll get another forest, and then we can Life from the Loam. And we'll get ourselves a fetch and a Phyrexian Tower. And then we get back our Woodfall Primus, thanks to Meren of Clan Nel Toth. Okay, and if we don't pay 3 on this, each opponent sacrifices a permanent unless they pay 3. That is a strange blue card. let's sacrifice the Nissa. That dies and gives us an experience counter, and we'll just get it back next turn anyway. And then they get to flicker that, so we'll say no again. We'll get rid of a forest. And then, yeah, we'll throw some stuff in the bin with Life from the Loam. And we'll swing in at... Well, we'll go for Merciless Executioner first, I think. So let's play the Phyrexian Tower. We'll play Merciless Executioner. That will obviously kill itself. It'll also kill the bird that our opponent has. And that will clear the way for Meren to go in at Aminatou. And we can get rid of her. Our opponent will have to tap out in order to get her into play next turn. And then we might as well Life from the Loam to get these lands back. And there we go, we've got a full grip now. We'll grab our Merciless Executioner, I think is going to be better for us. Let's ditch the basic forest. 4 cards now in our opponent's hand. And Sphere of Safety. So definitely want to get into a Reclamation Sage, I think. And there we go, I talked it up. We just milled ourselves a Reclamation Sage. So if we can kill something this turn, kill a creature preferably. Yeah, we might as well go for Sidisi Undead Vizier. So I want to finally shock in this thing. And then we'll go for our Sidisi Undead Vizier. Now it looks like our opponent's going for some kind of... Nope, they scooped to that. That's unfortunate. I was going to go for Bane of Progress there because it looks like our opponent was going for some kind of Enchantress build. Don't know if that's the best build to go for in Esper. You really want access to green for Enchantress, but maybe they weren't going for that, but they did play 3 enchantments. Didn't really see much from our opponent, unfortunately, but I'm just going to use this as a means to try and gauge the reaction of Meren of Clan Nel Toth. I released her when I was a few hundred subscribers into the channel, and she didn't do as well as I thought she was going to do, but since then people have told me that they like seeing Meren, so I'm just going to put her out there again and see if the views and the thumbs up are any better this time around. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. That was Meren of Clan Nel Toth versus Aminatou, the Fateshifter. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.